Good evening, universe. Tonight I'm going to be talking about my hopes and expectations for book 3 of the Scholomance series by Noami Novik, which is called The Golden Enclaves. Now, just to be really clear up front, this will include full spoilers for the first 2 books because, I kind of have to base what I think book 3 is going to be about based on the events of those first 2. So if you haven't read and plan to read The Last Graduate and A Deadly Education in the same series, then I recommend you do that first. And by that I mean this video is not safe for your spoilery needs. Okay, so I'm pretty nervous for this book because I have absolutely adored the first 2 books, but a huge part of what I liked about them was the setting, so the school. Now, the last book ended with the school being yeeted off into the void, so I don't know how much I'm going to like this one, especially if it doesn't take place in the school. However, with Orion inside still, with the big horrible monster, I am thinking that we might get some glimpses of the school, especially because I don't think that Orion would just be gone forever. And the description on the book includes the phrase, something like, I've spent all this time trying to break out of the Scholomance and now I have to turn around and find a way back in, which gives me a lot of hope. So one of the things I am most hoping for in this is that we will see her like traversing the void. I don't know if that's like an actual place or if it's just like emptiness, but I would really like to see Elle try and make her way through whatever that space is to get to the Scholomance. I'm also kind of hoping for a more like, because I'm thinking she's gonna get back in there. I'm hoping for even more messed up version of the Scholomance. There are monsters everywhere, although Orion is in there. They're trapped in there with him. So who knows how monstery it is getting, especially between Orion and that big one that keeps eating the smaller monsters. So I'm hoping to get a like broken down, even more ruinous version of the school than we've gotten in the book so far. The description also includes concerns about the Enclave war. There's some kind of war, and it's been hinted at in the book so far that things are looking weird and dicey between the various enclaves. How I'm thinking this is going to play out is basically similar to how the first book ends and then we pick up like exactly the next couple of minutes after that. I'm thinking that we're going to, again, pick up directly after Elle breaks out of the portal. So I'm thinking we're gonna pick up right after she falls out of the portal, lands back on physical Earth, and I think maybe we're gonna get a rundown of the situation out in the outside world. We're gonna find out what the deal is with this Enclave war, what's going on, and then I'm thinking / hoping Elle is gonna go rampaging back to the Scholomance to save Orion, maybe with a couple of her Alliance girls in tow, and they are going to go try and find him, and that'll be like the first half, them getting Orion back out of the Scholomance. And then I'm thinking the second half is going to be dealing with the Enclave war, and maybe in there somewhere, my guess is that there will be some kind of fallout for Elle basically orchestrating the destruction of the Scholomance. I'm also really hoping to see the resolution of that prophecy. It has been hinted at so many times throughout the first 2 books that Elle is prophesied to be some destroyer woman, some dark witch that brings about a horrible catastrophe. I am really hoping that we see that, and my guess is that what's going to happen is Elle is going to basically annihilate all of the like privileged enclaves and then rebuild a newer, better system in place of them. That would both fulfill the prophecy of her being a destroyer witch and would be really in line with her character and her concerns. I am also hoping to see a little bit more of, I don't remember if it was named Patience or Fortitude, I think it was Patience. The remaining Mawmouth, the one that Orion was like, I just have to go kill this thing. I am hoping we're gonna see more of that. Maybe it even like escapes into the real world somehow. I don't know how that would happen, but that would would be rad. I would love to see more of this creature, especially because it's been built up again across the first 2 books. So I think it would really be a shame if it's something that they easily conquer. I am, of course, hoping to see more of the deepening relationship between Elle and Orion, and maybe even some of Orion's parents, so we can get a more direct version of them, because everything we've had of them so far has been filtered through how Orion thinks of them, which I think is really interesting, but also it would be really cool to get to compare and contrast his version of them versus what they are like actually like. I still think Elle is not gonna like them when she meets them, but I would be really excited to see that. Also, Elle's mother, I would love to see her in person. We've gotten just little flashbacks and hints of her and stuff like that, so I would love to see her in person and in action. It seems like she is definitely much more of a healer, so I would be really interested to see her more in action, hoping for more crazy destructive magic from Elle. That would be awesome. And I really get the feeling that there is going to be some sort of turn where people are like, this is all your fault, etc., etc. And I think she's going to lose patience with them and maybe give in to a little bit more of her darker side. Even though she has an obvious sense of justice, and that is really high on her list of concerns, I think that she is maybe going to give in to the punishing aspect of that a little bit, and that might be where we get her prophecy to turn to incredible dark magic. I am really excited. I'm really nervous. This is, I know, way in advance because the book doesn't come out until September 27th, I think it is. So it's late September. We have more than 2 months before the book even comes out, but I have been thinking about it since the last book released. I read it so quickly, and I'm really excited. So let me know if you're a fan of this series, what you hope to see, what you think you'll see in the finale. Do we think Orion is just like dead now? Because that would be a wild turn. I really don't think that's going to be the case. Give me some discussion. Give me some new ideas for what's going to be going on. And most importantly, have a great night, universe.